So hello freaking YouTube, in this freaking video we are gonna write the Truth Detective, the Truth Detective book. Write the Truth Detective book in English in 20 hours. That's a challenge for myself. Truth Detective was had a voice that could go through walls, and no criminal could flee from our detective. It was a scene where there was grey concrete and some lovers walking around in a park. The street lights were still working with oil, not electricity, and Truth Detective saw something out of the norm in the reflection on the street. There was a puddle of water. It had been just that evening raining, and Truth Detective, by the way, here's a Truth Detective wallpaper for you. It's my signature wallpaper. So there was a puddle of water. It had been just that evening raining, and Truth Detective looked at the puddle and realized that the only thing that was really weird and out of the norm in his surroundings was himself. But you can't really catch yourself. Own self. So Truth Detective had to divide himself into two. And the other one thought that the man in the puddle is a really normal looking and a really honest looking man. Not your mustache twirling let's try that word again. Twirling, like twirling. No, I mean twirl. You know, how is it like pronounced? You know, like I mean these words. Twirling. 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 Yeah, it got it right. Not your mustache twirling villain. But to the other side of Truth Detective, he looked like himself looked very evil man, very evil, a mustache twirler. And a mustache twirler and a riddler. I'm a very evil mustache twirler and a riddler. A very evil mustache twirler and a riddler. You know, I'm gonna tell you a story. But to the other side of truth, side of detective himself looked very evil. Man, very evil. Yeah, whatever, you know? And Truth Detective had lived in this olden age all his life. You know, the age where men and women had their own styles and positions and way of being in this world. It was a more simple era. And there was no need to freaking hurry anywhere. But Truth Detective was even more special because he really had honed his mind to take it freaking slow and look around. That's why he always saw the stuff that led him to crash. To breakthroughs in his detective work. I'm really thinking about this like way of like marketing. If I would just like write a book that's name is Truth Detective, it could be a really interesting way to like get your own like freaking name out there, even like on the like internet, you know. That's one thing I'm thinking about here. In that time era where Truth Detective lived, there was a lot of falsehood happening. And Truth Detective thought that I'm exactly the man and a solution to this time that is filled with all of this falsehood. You know, it goes with the time, false food and falsehood. and a solution to this time that is filled with this falsehood. But Truth Detective was a good and honest man, not like the master Swerveling. Out there in the breaking the law. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. Yeah. It's kind of funny how in that song, you know, the breaking the law, there's the like, you know, there's is it like the drum or is it the guitar? But it comes after the lyric, you know, like breaking the law or breaking the law. You know, it's kind of funny because it's kind of like fills in the gap, you know. If you think about it, like this part would be the breaking the law, and we have then like these ones over here, and then it goes on. Pretty funny. Yeah. An honest man, not like the monsters dwelling villains out there breaking the law. You know, and but still, a truth detective wasn't your honest working businessman or a even though he had tried to create that honesty around him. But it was kind of a mask. Even in Truth Detective's time, all manners and ways of being in this world were related to self-preservation. But Truth Detective had true selves to preserve. So it was kind of hard to manage a man like that all on his own. So he was looking at the puddle of water. And seeing how freaking evil he was really. But on the other hand, he also realized that he can't really change this. Then a birdie flies to next to the water and drinks some water out of it. And the birdie is very thirsty, so the evil like disappears with the water. Truth Detective goes home and starts to cook a dinner for himself and realizes that truth detective can't never form a family or even get a lover because the girls always fall in only for her other side, not the other. So life is pretty complicated for truth detective because he kind of like has to live two lives at the same time. Outside of truth detective's apartment there's this train. And the train always makes a noise when it goes past on the train tracks. Truth detective tries to not notice this crap. But his current living situations really bother him. He doesn't spend a lot of time in his apartment anyway. So we have a one page over here and 18 minutes have gone past from our life. You know, it's really interesting. Now we're gonna continue on. Truth detective goes to sleep after the meal and sees a dream where the good does no longer exist at all in him. There is only the bad guy left and he is really heinous to people. Then truth detective wakes up again and goes back to his life in the city. Meanwhile, in a near casino, hotel, there is a Mastersvirving villain making a master plan for a bank heist that his guys will perform. What if we are gonna do with the money if we can pull it off? The master one of the bad guys asks. We are going to loan it. The master-twirling villain says. At this point, the villain and truth detective have not met themselves yet. And neither each other. It's pretty funny, actually, that I wrote that line, that doesn't really work at all, but we have something going, it's only 24 minutes, you have to understand. We are going to give ourselves freaking 20 hours to write this book. At this point, the villain and truth detective have not met each other yet. Yeah. So what happens? Truth detective So what happens? Truth detective Vex goes back to his life in the city. There is a very peculiar thing about truth detective and the mustache twirling villain. Their actions are somehow linked to each other. They wear the exact same outfit. But in different colors. The villains classical jacket is a color that is kind of like red is. A reddish color. No. Like. Both wear a classical jacket with a fedora hat. But in different colors. So when they meet each other, they realize that there's something weird going on over here. Get away. So, if you think about this like this background over here. We have a truth detective over here and this master swirling villain, you know. They want to like break the law and there is a scene at one point in this story where the master swirling villain eat together. And the villain says that, you know, I'm not really that bad of a man. I didn't say you were, says Truth Detective. It's just that in this world I chose this styler way of being. And it ended up being illegal to do this. You know, there's no absolutely style in having a restaurant like this we are now sitting in and eating this crap. Yeah, I get it, Truth Detective says. You really could learn something from us, how we do things. But I never could join you fully, so Just give me the details. We get people into this loan contracts. Of course we know they probably can't pay. Never. Probably can never pay us back. But these are people without no hope for the future. Anyway. So what happens when they don't pay? Truth Detective asks. They disappear. Never to be seen again. And that's exactly what has been happening in the city lately. A lot of people have just mysteriously disappeared. And that was the reason Truth Detective got this case. But you don't know where they disappear. Truth Detective asks. The mustache-twirling villain. What if it's really possible to write a book in 20 hours? I know it's not possible, but it might be possible. Of course not. We are not in any way related to this. We just loan money. But everyone who has disappeared has been related loaning from you. So it's kind of suspicious. Truth Detective says to the The steak is going stale. We just should stop talking about this. The villain says. Yeah, fine. Can I write a book in 20 hours? If I can nail this freaking one off, you know. Okay, we have from idea over here. We're gonna write a synopsis over here. In the past, in a city, there's a detective that gets a case for that is related to people disappearing. All of these people have gotten a loan from this one organization, and the organization's leader and truth detective meet for a dinner. What I'm coming up with right now is actually pretty good. Get away. I wonder how those like detectives, you know, in the past, like how they like made that kind of stuff, you know, like what's the well, like way like detectives like differ from the normal police in the way they like catch the baddies, you know, or how they like figure out like where the like stuff is going like like wrong, you know. Like what's the way? How do they do their like job in a different way? You know. Yeah. You know, it's about the detective. You know, the detective is the brains. You know, the detectives have the freaking brains. You know, that's the image. You know, you get from all of these detective stories that that they're kind of like really smart, you know. After the dinner, Truth Detective exits the five-star hotel. I'm kind of like that you know, I have this like idea of my life that, you know, I would really freaking like live like I would really like to live the lifestyle of like going to these like really like fancy, you know, hotels and living the way, you know, that you could just like, you know, think about this. You would have these like you would have a few homes like, you know, in the Miami's, you know, and maybe in the like maybe in some like freaking Muslim country, you know, somewhere in the like Arab Emirates or something like that, maybe in the Asias, you know, like in the Japan and all of that. You would have these like nice, you know, resorts, and then you could like travel and you would always freaking go to the most expensive freaking hotels, and you know, you would be this like kind of like dude that is like all over this like globe, and you would have all of these like contacts in the high life, you know. You would like go to this like freaking like you would go to these places where they like make like the freaking most important people in this world, you know, like meet, and you would like be in that freaking stuff, you know. It's really interesting to like think about, for example, my life, how like far away I'm from all of freaking that, you know. So after the dinner, detective exits the five-star hotel, and and he and while walking the street, he takes the right road, and while walking the street that is a bit wet from the rain that had been raining from the sky while they were eating, Truth Detective thinks about the case, and he almost bumps into a lamppost because he's so in his thoughts. Now we are going to make this into a into a love story also. I feel that this story that has to have that kind of element to it, because Truth Detective is all about like his, the cases, and it's all about that. But there has to be some like freaking happenings over here in the like love department also. You see this like color over here? Could we like use this color in the like the how is it gonna even happen? Who knows? But I think this is the part where we should introduce the lady to this story. And that's exactly what has been happening in the city lately. A lot of people have just mysteriously. See what happened there? Hats. Weird. So, he walks a few more steps and then from an alley walks this lady and Truth Detective with a umbrella that has purple decorative frills in it. Truth Detective decides to ask decides to ask the lady if she knows anyone who has disappeared lately. How's Truth Detective gonna pose the question to the lady? And by the way, I'm gonna copy paste this like stuff in the description, so if you want to just read it, like if you want to gain something from something, I don't know, if you want to gain something from like for your own stuff or something, then you can read it there. But I'm just gonna copy paste this to the description, and that's that. I'm just trying to create a, I really feel that I want to like, because I've been doing this like truth detective type of stuff all along, so I want to kind of like create a book that is at the same time like a marketing thing for my like YouTube channel, and all of what I do. I want to create this like cohesive whole, and we could like ask this question over here, like could we incorporate, could we incorporate the Pink Gangsters band into this story also? So we might draw a map over here. This like, I hoped I could have like something over here where I could draw like a map, like like where I could like sketch, you know, like is there any way I could like draw on this thing, you know? Probably not. But, you know, oh, that's really interesting. We can use these colors, you know. Like, can we like, for example, can we put like this? Oh, that's pretty cool. That helps. You know, we're gonna color code, you know, I think the mustache twirling villain is he's kind of like wearing something like this maybe. We are gonna write the scenes where there is somebody else, we are gonna color code them. And that way we will see how much like descriptive like action there is like between the scenes where we have, you know, I'm kind of like talking about the rhythm of the story, you know, like how we have over here we have like this dialogue and it's gonna go like this. Have you heard of the incidents where a lot of where people have been disappearing in this city? In this city. True detective asks of the lady. The lady is first kind of startled. It's amazing that the program understood the pronunciation. Startled. Yes, I have heard of it. She says. Anybody? Do you know anyone who has disappeared? Oh yeah, in my company there was this one worker. I haven't seen him for years. Weeks. And when I talked to his wife, the wife said that the man didn't even leave a note. She said. So you understand what we are going for here. We have an objective. Truth detective. This is probably the reason why so there's so much like this like this like this genre of like books, you know, because you know it's like easy to create plots around this because the main character has a certain objective almost always, because if we think about it this way, that has to solve this case where people have been disappearing after loaning money from a certain loan shark. Yeah. Like the objective of the truth detective story is not that truth detective will like fall in love with this like women that he like meets through this case, you know, this one. It's not like the objective of the story, but that's what's gonna end up happening, you know truth detective falling in love with this uh, lady is not the objective of the story, but that is what will end up happening anyway. You know, something like that. That's pretty funny. Isn't that pretty funny? You know, that's how it goes in life many times. Interesting. Because I'm actually a detective and I'm trying to solve this case. Do you know if this person from your company that disappeared had any loans? Truth detective asks of the lady. So you understand what we are kind of doing over here. If we have a character other than the main character, and the character is kind of like, was it this color? Yeah. If the character is kind of like in the scene, you know, with this one, we can kind of like look with this color coding thing that we don't create too long sequences of like a certain character, you know. We want to keep truth detective in the main part of the scene. At the same time, you know, this kind of dialogue, you know, this length of dialogue is like perfect, you know. Don't make like longer dialogues than this almost in any kind of book, you know. This is enough. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think he was kind of like in trouble. she says. Yeah, so that's the first hour. You know, we made a lot of progress in this hour. This was kind of like a breakthrough in many ways. You know, it's really good. I want you to I want to recommend it and like cheer you on in this, that name the file you try to like go for, name the book and make an objective, you know, like write this book in 20 hours. Maybe it won't happen, you know, but it will like clear your mind what the stuff is gonna be about. So thanks for watching, and we're gonna continue on in just few like minutes. So thanks.